In this lesson, we are going to talk about these steps to take to blow up a listing. So in this lesson, we are going to cover how to create what I call a power listing from scratch, so from nothing, and then the daily actions that you need to take to blow your listings up. So first, we're going to talk about the elements of a power listing. What is this? What would fit into this category? First of all, you need this to be an item that you intend to have for a long time, and this means that you have ongoing access to it. So this cannot be something that your supplier has on clearance, that like a closeout item or a warehouse sale item. This needs to be something that you know you will have access to year after year after year, because you're investing a lot of time in building this power listing up to become a market leader in an area. So you don't want to do this if maybe you only have access to like 100 units and you can sell them for like $50 each, right? That's going to be like $5,000 revenue from this. The idea of this is that this is a listing that you can build up to be like $20,000 in revenue, $30,000, $40,000, $100,000. Okay. So we want your total lifetime revenue of this listing to be driving a huge part of your Etsy business. With this, it also needs to be something that photographs well. That's just like the nature of what is going to become a market leader and become a power listing. It has to be something that photographs well, or that you can create a nice looking, attractive listing photo out of. So it just needs to be something that you know you'll be able to create a good listing photo from. This also needs to be something that has a couple of options in it for variations. This doesn't have to be multiple colors or options or sizes or anything like that. I'm going to show you a workaround for this. Having a choice in the color or the size or some element that can be customized would be great and ideal. I don't recommend having, 15 options. I don't recommend having, even like 12 options. Keeping it like 3 to 4 options is really, really good because it allows the customer to make a decision on the spot and it doesn't overwhelm them with choices. You also need to have various price points in the listing to give the listing an opportunity to drive up your average order value. So that's your AOV. Focusing on the AOV is what is going to allow you to bring in a lot of money a lot faster. It's a lot easier to sell 100 items that are $500 than it is to sell 50,000 items that are $1 each. So driving up your average order value is going to be key in scaling your business a lot faster. Various price points in the listing. Now, maybe you're thinking, okay, I don't have any color options. I don't have any size options, and I don't even have a customization option. Like, how do I make this a power listing? How do I have various price points? Your answer here is bundling. So that means set of 1, set of 2, set of 3, or you could do it bundling different product type. Like I've used this example a lot, but let's say you sell cake toppers. Well, now you sell cake topper plus the birthday party crown, maybe cake topper plus the crown plus the banner. There are different ways to offer options and price points without doing a made to order type of business. So even my power listings that are in the supply category, these are just things that I have one color of maybe, or one size of. I just bundle them in groupings. So that is a way to give the customer choice. They have choice in how many they buy, and in the price point reflects the quantity bundles. So that helps me drive up my average order value. So we are actually going to build a power listing from ground zero. I'm going to show you how I would do this. All right. So I am going to take you through step by step how I would blow up a listing. So I'm going to start with a new listing. I'm going to create a garland listing, not something that I have had in my shop before. This is going to be something that is a brand new listing, and I'm just copied an old listing so that I would have a shipping profile and a description to use as a base. So I always use a previous listing as my base. For when I create new listings, it just adds to my efficiency. So we're going to start with the photos. This is the item we're going to add. So I'm going to edit these photos right now to make them good. They're completely unedited. So I'm just brightening them up, and then I'm going to create one photo that is optimized for Pinterest. I'm just really mostly increasing brightness. That's kind of my go-to. Sometimes I don't want the greens to look super, super green. I'm editing all the photos just so that I can start the listing with as many photos as possible. Okay, we're going to keep brightening these up. I'm not cropping anything yet. Right now, I just like to keep the colors consistent, so I try to do all of this part at the same time. I don't even know if I'm going to end up using all of these, but I like to keep my options open. So unfortunately, I do not have a video, but now I'm going to see if anything needs improvement. And I'm going to make a couple of photos that are optimized for Pinterest. So the Pinterest photos need to be long and skinny. So I'm going to duplicate certain photos that I think might do well. This is just an iPhoto. Duplicate. This one's long and skinny. Duplicate. So now I'm just going to take my duplicate ones and crop it so that it's long and skinny for Pinterest. Good. Good. And this is the other one. Okay, good. So we have a good mix. So we have 11. That's plenty good. So I'm going to use 10 of these. So I do not need, maybe I'm not going to do that one. I'm just going to delete it so I don't accidentally use it. All right, there we go. So now I'm going to go to my listing and add my photos. All right, so we're going to add those 10. So we're uploading those, and now we are going to figure out what to call this for the listing title. Now, unfortunately, I do not have a video of this, but for sure, to blow up a listing, you would need a video of it. I can just figure out the listing photo now, something that will look good as a square. Looks pretty good. And then I'm going to have my Pinterest optimized photos at the end because I don't want these long skinny photos randomly in the middle. Then I'm going to have my photos in order of what looks the best, because the goal is we do not want people to click out of our photos. Once they see a bad photo when they're looking through the group of photos, they will click out. We want to avoid that. So they're in order of best to worst, and then we would add the video. So I'm going to look up eucalyptus garland, and it honestly looks a lot like this, and they have a lot of sales. So I'm going to click open a few of the top selling competitor items to compare it to mine, and it will also help me to identify the price points that I need to be at. I'm gonna look up eucalyptus flower garland. There's another competitor. Okay, and now we're gonna see, okay, so 2.5 to 3 feet. I'm gonna do 1.5 feet, 3 feet, 6 feet, 9 feet. So this is all about getting price point ideas. So they start at $45. This one also starts, same seller, $45. This is a different one, $28, but this is definitely all like pre-manufactured. This one is $36. Also looks like a pre-manufactured item. So the difference in mine is that I'm going to stand out because I offer customization. That's the big difference. I'm going to allow customers to choose what color flowers they want on the garland. And that is going to be a competitive edge because my main competition, they do not do that. They just offer one color. So we are going to get started with the title. So eucalyptus garland, wedding centerpiece, arch flowers. So I'm going to start with eucalyptus garland, wedding centerpiece, floral garland. We're using their titles. So we're going to do greenery garland, wedding backdrop, table decor. Greenery garland, wedding backdrop, table decor, garland with flowers, flower garland. I'm going to do flower garland, floral garland. So I'm going to add flower garland. I'm going to look up some other because I want to capture people who are looking for not just garlands. I want to look and see things that are not just garlands. I want to find things that this could serve a purpose for that thing. So I'm going to do wedding backdrop, wedding arch. If I type in floral garland, let's see what ideas come up. Let's see what keyword ideas come up in these. Wedding table, wedding archway, fireplace garland, bridal shower. These are good ideas. So I'm going to do wedding arch, fireplace garland, flower runner, maybe flower backdrop. There's not enough characters here. So I'm over the limit. So what I would do now is see I have garland wedding and garland wedding. So I'm going to delete one of those. Finished product made to order, wall decor. Let's see if there's a better category that this could be in. Floral garland. That might help me get into the centerpieces. Yeah, this might be a good one to be in. Greenery garland. Let me just check to see if I missed anything. Yeah, I'm going to try centerpieces because it also gets me into paper, party supplies, party decor, weddings, decorations, and centerpieces. So because it's custom, I'm not going to fill out these. And I don't want to limit it to weddings just in case I could be for like baby showers or home decor. So automatic renewal, physical item. Now I'm going to start changing this listing. So this copied an old listing of mine. So I'm going to edit this. This is a beautiful premium thick, I'm going to use my keywords, eucalyptus garland, but I need to have important information at the very top because people won't scroll down. In the 1.5 foot, 3 foot, 6 foot, or 9 foot size. It is the perfect decoration for, this is where I pack in all my keywords, for a wedding table runner, wedding centerpiece, greenery, garland decor. I know it doesn't make sense to say it is the perfect decoration for, and then greenery garland decor. This is where I'm just packing in keywords. People aren't really going to read this. Greenery garland decor, floral garland decor, bridal shower decor, baby shower decor, wedding reception decor, or for a wedding arch. These premium garlands are fully customized to match your desired color scheme, and we have thousands of high quality to choose from. And then I always say, once you place an order, we will message you within 24 hours with all the details of your order to make sure it is exactly what you want before creating it. So how to order. This is how I really start all of my custom listings. So select your desired size, 1.5 foot, 3 foot, 6 foot, or 9 foot long. Size pictured in the listing is I think this is actually 9 feet long. It is 9 feet long for reference. Write this color scheme of your choice. So there's going to be a personalization text box. Feel free to send us photos or links of items or colors you would like us to match. If requesting an item to look like the listing, please note, due to the handmade nature of this item and availability, it may not look identical to the photo. We will use exact colors when possible to create a specific look. This is key if you're doing custom items and you know people are going to want it to look like the photo. It just gives you some leeway so that they don't open a case against you if it's not like a cookie cutter exact replica. It also is great if you run out of part of the inventory or materials, supplies needed to make that item. So shipping, each item is packaged carefully in tissue paper inside a custom sized box to protect it. All items come with tracking information and insurance. I'm going to take out that part because now I ship with ground shipping, and that does not include insurance. Processing time is 3 to 10 business days, and you will receive it 2 to 3 days after it ships. I'm not going to have that part. I used to do priority, but ground is not that fast. Need it faster? See below. There's a $15 rush fee to process your order in 1 to 2 business days instead of our standard 3 to 10 business days. You will still receive it 2 to 3 days after it ships. I'm going to take that part out and say we will still ship with the shipping method you selected at checkout. To proceed with the rush order, add quantity 1 from my rush order listing link below, and it will add $15 to your order to fast track the processing time. The key is to make sure people understand that this is about processing. You can buy that there. Processing and not shipping. So now I also have my coordinating items from my shop linked here and my social media and my website. So section, garlands, and now I'm going to change out the keywords. Faux greenery and faux flowers is good, but I do need to change the keywords to make sure that it reflects the new title here. So eucalyptus garland, garland wedding, wedding garland, wedding centerpiece. And then I'm pasting to remind myself, wedding centerpiece. So centerpiece floral, floral garland, garland greenery, greenery garland, greenery wedding backdrop. It's going to be too many letters. Wedding backdrop. I'm going to put floral wedding in there. Wedding arch and flower backdrop. Now, here we go. Variations. I always have the quantity at $9.99. Everything is made to order and I just want to do as much as I can. So we are going to change the variations. Prices vary for each length. Yes. So 1.5 feet, 3 feet, 6 feet, and 9 feet. Oops. And now prices vary for each. So my competitors, let's take a look. 45. I don't care how long, what size that was for. I just want to know how I'm going to stack up on the search results page. 45, 45, 27, 25, 45, 36. So I'm going to do $34.99. 3 feet should be double that, so $69.99. 6 feet is double 3 feet, so $139.99. And 9 feet is, I'm going to do 6 feet plus 3 feet. Maybe I'll just keep it, instead of doing $209.99, maybe I'll do $199.99. There we go. So this is how you do this. I don't recommend doing like a discount for every additional length because honestly, people are going to buy whatever length they need. They're not going to say, I really have found that it doesn't make a difference. I used to do that even with supplies. It really didn't make a difference. This pricing looks good to me. Personalization, and I do not have it optional. I have it be required. So describe the color scheme you would like. Feel free to message me with photos or links of items or colors you would like me to match. When you order, we will message you within 24 hours confirming all color details before starting production. This is what I have on every single listing. Now, the shipping profile is all set. I know this isn't going to be too crazy. I've scrolled down and selected USPS ground because I don't want it to default to priority. And then I've had the weight be 2 pounds. If it was under 1 pound, then it would default to first class. But I do 2 pounds because the average weight is going to be over 1 pound. Once I get to that 6 foot size, then it's 1 pound. And this is what really matters for international orders because sure, they're going to have free shipping in places like, the US, like Chicago and stuff. But international, we want to make sure that they are paying enough to cover the full shipping cost. If I put the weight at 16 ounces, then it would cover me for the lowest, the smallest 2 sizes, but I would be losing money on my biggest 2 sizes. So that's how I do the item weight. I also have the item size when packed be reflective of the largest size, and then don't want to advertise. This here is how I accidentally spent like $200 in advertising in, I think it was July, because I accidentally was duplicating listings where this was turned on for some reason and I didn't catch it. So do not advertise. Now we're going to check everything. Looks good. Publish. Now, if you're in the sprinting strategy, sure, advertise the heck out of this for like 48 hours and turn on a sale to get some traction. Now, what I'm going to do, because I don't want people copying me, is go to my homepage and change my sort so that it goes to the back of my page. So now this is a power list. If I click the different pages, looks good, looks good. I wish I had a better lifestyle photo. Once I get lifestyle photos from the customer, I would add that in. And of course, I would have the video as well. This was from over a year ago, so I do not have that. And here are my Pinterest optimized photos at the end. I believe they should be here. There we go. Pinterest, Pinterest. Now, one more thing I really want to mention here is that if you want this to blow up and become a power listing, I really do recommend having photos of each size. Now, this is going to be something that allows customers to really not have any questions before they order about what each size looks like. When you're doing this, you're going to click link photos, and then you're going to add the photo for each size. So let's say that was 1.5 foot, then you're going to add the 3 foot photo and so forth. And then you are going to save. Now, because this is all one length, since this is the only size that I have, I'm not going to be able to do that. But once I start selling it and people are buying the smaller sizes, I will add in a photo of the smaller sizes and link them to the variations. Now, the reason why I'm not really worried about this right now is because this is the largest size. The photo shows the 9 foot size, the most expensive size. So they are seeing it. They're seeing that listing photo packed with value. They're seeing something that's $199.99 listed for, it looks like $34.99. So I'm packing the listing photo with value. And that's why I'm not as concerned about linking photos to variations right now until I have the additional photos of the other sizes from when people order them. And when I send them their order recap message, what I will say is that I will point out that the listing photo shows the 9 foot size. And then since they ordered, let's say they ordered the 1.5 foot size, I would say, since you ordered the 1.5 foot size, it will be a smaller scale and it fits only 3 flowers on it or something like that. And I've learned this the hard way through getting reviews from people who didn't understand the difference between the sizes. So I am explicit with setting the expectation of what that difference is if I don't yet have a photo showing the difference. And I would also have a photo of each size and then one photo showing all of the sizes together. That would be really key to show the relative size difference between each length. So I would lay them out on the white fur carpet that I have and just each size so that they can see the length. So now we're going to talk about the daily actions that you need to do to blow up your listings in a good way. So you are going to utilize Pinterest, Instagram, and Facebook on a daily basis until your listing explodes and becomes a market leader. I know you might be thinking do I really need to do this until it becomes a market leader? Listen, you don't have to if you don't want to. But if you want it to become a market leader and you want to benefit from seeing it have just amazing sales year after year and become a listing that does, close to $100,000 lifetime sales just on that listing, yes, you've got to push it on these channels. So if these strategies on Pinterest, Instagram, and Facebook are not getting you traction after 1 to 2 weeks, then I want you to reevaluate or audit your listing to make sure that it's fully optimized. So this means looking at your SEO, your photos. This means looking at the stats and seeing the keywords that people are using to actually find it. This means possibly turning on off-site ads on this listing if you think that there is an opportunity there for traffic to find you through Google. Also, I want you to consider a 48-hour sale and then advertise between 6 a.m. and 8 p.m. That combination once every other week while you're working to get this to market leader status. So now we're going to walk through how to do these daily actions on that listing that we just made. So now we are going to get this listing out there. These are the actions that I would do every day. I'm going to go to my Google Chrome browser and I'm going to pin it, right? First, I'm going to open up Pinterest. I'm just going to scroll down to my Pinterest optimized photos. Boom. I don't want it to lifestyle and inspiration. I want it to a wedding board, wedding style and decor. There we go. And my other one, I'm going to pin baby life nursery decor. Now I'm going to go to Pinterest and I'm going to search wedding centerpiece. I'm going to add a few to my wedding style and decor board. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go back to mine and I'm going to, I haven't saved this one to that yet. Perfect. And now I'm going to look up, let's say nursery wall decor. Okay. I'm going to save a couple to my baby one, my nursery one. Boom, boom. And now I'm going to save this. There we go. So this is the Pinterest strategy. Literally all it takes. Just do that a few times every day and you're set. Now we are going to do the Facebook strategy, literally on my Facebook here. I would list it to Marketplace, which is self-explanatory. I'm not going to do that because I don't actually want to list it to Marketplace, but I would list it to Marketplace and then I would go to my groups and I would start looking up my wedding groups. So these are all the wedding groups that I'm in. So I would look at Michigan wedding resale. Now I'm going to get my link to my listing. Okay, this is a Michigan wedding swap, so it's actually just fine for me to share. I'm not going to do selling. I'm going to do a discussion. Custom eucalyptus floral garlands, free shipping from free shipping. I'm not going to say San Diego. You choose your size colors. And then hopefully a photo of it will show up. There we go. Post is pending. The person has to approve it. Now, let's see. What is this? Wedding decor and more. For sale, Southern Illinois. Okay, this is another one where it's for sale, but I don't want to do sell something. I want to do discussion. And I'm literally going to edit, copy, and paste the post because who has time to actually rewrite everything? Post. Here's one. Discussion. Post. Boom. Okay, so these were all resale groups, which happens to obviously work great. But if they were not, I would do this. Wedding groups, the wedding connection in San Diego weddings. Okay, this is where people are asking questions. See, these people have problems and they're looking for solutions. Like, show me your getting ready outfits that are not robes. Okay, let's say you're selling getting ready outfits like bride t-shirts or something. Boom, post it on here. Being in the group, centerpiece, DIY. Okay, but we want to have date posted 2022, cheap centerpiece ideas. Okay, that was in January, so that's not exactly. Okay, March. This is the thing. Like, I need centerpiece inspiration. And then I would comment and say, hey, have you ever considered something like this with my item? Or I would say, hey, this might work for you. And then my link to my item. So you guys, this is like so easy. You just have to spam me with your centerpieces. I need ideas. Boom, link to your item. This is finding warm leads. It's people who have problems and you have a solution. So that's what I would be doing in here. Now remember, if it's not working, if it's not getting sales in a couple weeks, do the sales strategy. So we're going to go to marketing, Etsy ads, turn on ads for just that item. I really don't want to actually turn on the ads, but I would turn on the ads and then I would go to sales and discounts and set up a sale, 15% off today, tomorrow, garland, test. Boom. Boom, review and confirm, and then create the sale. Obviously, I'm not going to do that right now. So that is what I would do for this listing. I would pin it every day, put it on Facebook groups every day, get it on Facebook Marketplace, do a sale every other week, 48 hours, advertise at the same time between 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. and do this consistently. If it's still not getting sales, then I would reevaluate if I've really fully optimized it. I would make sure it has photos, it has a video where the photos are linked to variations. I would check out my SEO. I would see what people are actually searching to visit it, to see it, see if I'm missing anything that people are actually searching. So that is how I would blow up that listing. And those are the profitable action steps that I would take to drive sales to it.